Thank you for coming today. My name is John Tkachevsky. I'm the president and co-founder of FileCatalyst. And today we will be talking about accelerated file transfers with FileCatalyst and how it works and what's needed. And if you have any questions during my presentation, I'm going to try to stick to half an hour in my presentation. I have lots to cover. I want to go through all our products a little quickly. And if you have any questions, please enter them in the GoToWebinar interface, and I will get to them at the end of my presentation. Hello? Still everybody there? Okay. So let's get started. If you have any problems, technical problems, you can't hear me or you can't see the slides, just do let me know in the middle, ask a question, raise your hand, and I will try to address it. Otherwise, I will continue with this presentation. So FileCatalyst, what do we do? You may have heard of us at the trade show. You may have seen our website. We provide accelerated file transfer solutions to move basically bulk media, bulk files such as media, databases, audio files, research files, backups, anything that is really big and you want to move on the internet. FileCatalyst is the solution for it. Consider us as a freight train of the internet. We're actually moving everything by train. We've built our own unique UDP-based acceleration approach, which I'm going to get into in a couple of slides. We can simplify any kind of file transfer workflows, whether it's distribution, whether it's one point-to-point, whether it's sending email attachments, whether it's doing backups, whether it's doing offsite mirroring for backups, whether it's push type of technology where you kind of just want to push a file to a node. We can do this through different interfaces, user interfaces, and we can do this through the web, and we can do this through APIs. So we have a number of tools available for you to do this. Besides of the file transfer part, we also provide all the tools to do it, as I already mentioned, and the security and the monitoring tools to make sure that your file transfers get there, and if the file transfers don't get there, you get notified with alarms. And as well, one of our niches as well is to moving files to the cloud. So as companies are moving more and more to the cloud, they realize that moving a large amount of data to that cloud becomes actually very long, and it's a bottleneck. So we provide integration with Amazon, OpenStack, Windows Azure, and so on. So if you have the large amount of data to move to any of your cloud storage vendors, S3, Windows block storage, OpenStack, we can help you with that. So we work, I would say about half of our clients are from in the media and entertainment space, so broadcast, video, gaming, and so forth. And the other half is usually just large businesses all around the world. But I just wanted to outline that we did win two Emmy awards for our technology. One was for the accelerated file movement over IP, and the other one was for what we did with the Sochi Olympics. And we allowed NBC to provide maximum access to the video content from the Sochi Games from the Sochi Games on user screens. And this was actually quite a large project, which we then repeated again this summer for Rio Olympics, where the project was 5 times bigger. So we've got quite a bit of technology, quite a bit of experience on this behind us. I mean, we've done, I think, in Rio Games, I think we moved 240 terabytes of data in about 2 weeks time span of the Rio Games. So just to give you an idea how much data we can move. So why are we faster? Everybody always wonders that, and I always try to, I used to have 6 or 7 slides on this. I have it down now onto basically just one slide. It all boils down to that TCP is a protocol that has been around for quite some time, and I think since 1970, and it has been designed for shorter messages. It wasn't designed to move bulk data. And reason being is that with TCP, whenever you send a bit of packet of data, and you have to wait for the acknowledgement. Once the acknowledgement comes back that the data arrived, you push the next block of data. So as you can see, you can only send a little bit of data in your pipe. Once again, if you have slower transfers, like you have cable or DSL, residential cable or DSL, and you're sending data within your own city or within even your own country, you're probably getting a pretty good maximization through TCP. TCP starts falling apart when you start sending data, let's say, coast to coast or from continent to continent, or if your bandwidth is higher than, I would say, about 10 megabits. So if you have more than 10 megabit speeds and you're transferring data on larger distances, this is where FTP is going to be slower for you, and our protocol is just going to continue sending. So what we're doing, we're saturating this bandwidth. We're sending as much packet as we can fit into the pipe, and this allows us to give us acceleration. Besides of the acceleration, what we have built into our protocol that is patented now in Canada and the US is that we can do this up to 10 gigabits with encryption. Yes, you need a bit of faster hardware, but it's nothing very highly specialized. We're not affected by latency, and if there's any packet loss, we linearly degrade with speed. So 2% packet loss means we're 2% slower, but we're not, for example, 40% slower like TCP would be. And then we also built into multi-core architecture. So once again, this goes back to the 10 gigabits speeds with encryption. We can do this to virtual or even cloud systems. One important factor to say about any kind of UDP acceleration is to talk about congestion control. So yes, it's great to have a UDP system that can blast data as fast as it can, but does it listen to the background traffic on the network? Does it slow down if there's another TCP application connecting and one that wants to do something? We do that. We will slow down. We will listen to background traffic. We will allow the TCP traffic through. Our goal by out-of-the-box experience is that TCP will be slower, but it will be able to get through. Of course, you can tune that and push TCP completely out of the way, or you can give TCP more priority. But this is more for tuning. Usually if you're sending files up to a gigabit, you don't need to do anything. You just open it up and start a transfer. And you should be able to get pretty close to a gigabit, providing that you have, the disks that can write at that speed, read and write at that speed. But this is usually, the congestion control is important for making sure that you're not blasting into your network so much data that you're just crashing it. So what kind of speed improvements can we get with our software? Well, so here's an example from Amsterdam to London on a 10 gig file, 50 milliseconds RTT. That's the delay between the 2 points. An FTP will take an hour and a half. We'll do this in 1:23 seconds. This is on a gigabit connection. New York City to Buenos Aires. Now we have 5,200 miles between the two nodes. And now you can see that RTT is 150 milliseconds, and the FTP takes 3 hours and will take still 1:23. So the interesting thing is that as the RTT increases, you can see FTP slows down and we stay at the steady speed. Theoretically, and this is theoretically, if RTT is 0, then FTP would also take 1:23 seconds. So really it's this RTT that slows you down, and RTT is unfortunately the delay that you see on the network. So if you send a beam of light let's see if from around the world, let's see if you could curve it, but you can't, but providing that we could curve it, and if you send a beam of flashlight, it will take 2 seconds for that beam of light to come back and hit you in the back on the other side. Just to give you a concept of the delay, that how long it takes for the light to go around. Now, if you compare this to signals, which are usually fiber optic, which are lights, then you have delays, of switching. You have delays of the medium as well, because now you're going through glass. You're not going necessarily through air. Anyways, those are things that this is where you get that delay. You start getting this delay of transfer speeds. Some more examples. 10 gigabits. Once again, it's the same concept applies here that I did with 1 gigabit. But now everything is a bit faster in FileCatalyst then, because we're able to utilize this full pipe versus FTP being still slower and about the same almost speed as the 1 gigabit. Because once again with TCP, once you hit certain latency, it doesn't matter what's your bandwidth. You're not going to be able to go any faster. So throwing more bandwidth to a problem with using TCP is not going to give you any improvement, or might give you a very marginal improvement. So as I mentioned, we did the Winter Olympics. We did also the Rio Olympics now. We haven't updated our slides yet because we just finished it in August. So we have we have 3 products. I'm going to go through them a bit later, but I just want to give you kind of an overview of the products. So we can send, speed up files up to 10 gigabits. We have a checkpoint restarting and integrity tests. So imagine when you transfer files, we're like a UPS of file delivery. We will transfer a file with a temporary file name. We will then do an MD5 checksum of that file to make sure, compare bit by bit that the files are identical, and then we'll rename that file on the other end to give you notice that this file has arrived intact. So you have always a confirmation of delivery. That the files have been delivered intact to your customer site, and you always have this guarantee. We have the encryption using SSL and AES encryption. It's the same type of stuff that you can use in online banking. So the security, everything can be secured with SSL and AES. We have automation with watch folders, where you set up a folder. You say this folder at 2 a.m. transfer files, and it transfers files every day at 2 a.m. We integrate with a number of other software vendors and MAM solutions especially. So if you have a MAM or another software vendor or storage vendor that you want to see if we're integrated with, I'll share with you the list of partial list of our partners. And we're integrated. We have a tight integration with S3, Azure, and OpenStack for delivering files to the cloud. So as I mentioned, we have really 3 products. The 3 products are broken direct, which is really the base. This is what gives you the acceleration. This includes your hot folders, your servers, your FileZilla type of application. It's the FTP on steroids, basically, what it is. FileCatalyst workflow is the everything web-based. So you have a web-based portal, and you can create different types of workflows now. Do you want to do an ingest? Do you want to do a distribution to email? Do you want to have a shared folder online? So it's a combination. It's sort of like a shared folder storage online with ability to ingest and distribute files as well. And central is everything to do with your monitoring. So if you need to know if your files are going, if there's any problems during file transfers, you can see it here, as well as Central now, the latest version of Central. I guess it doesn't only give you monitoring, but gives you all the remote administration, and gives you as well the ability to move files arbitrarily from any nodes to any node, just using Central and the scripting interface that we have for Central. So direct, as I mentioned, it's already your straight FTP replacement, 10 gigabits, integrates very easily with any other solution that uses watch folder technology. Can integrate as well with many libraries. We have an API in Java, C++, and the Java, C++, and .NET APIs to integrate as well if you want to put this inside your app. So let's take a look at standard deployment of FileCatalyst Direct, because this is the basic building block. So what you have here, you're going to have on the right-hand side, you're going to have your server installed. Your server is going to be attached to your storage. So there's going to be a storage attached here somewhere. This link here has to be local. I hope you can see my mouse movement, but this link has to be local here between the storage and the server. You have the internet connectivity. So this is your two-directional IP link. It could be anything from fiber, satellite, cable, DSL, whatever link you want. And then you have different client applications that can either upload files to the storage or download files from the storage. We have 5 different client types because of different use cases. So hot folders are watch folder technology. It's automation. So wake up at 2 a.m. over here, check for new files, and upload these files to storage. Then wake up again at 4 a.m. Check for files over here and download them. So you can do any kind of automation tool with this. Desktop app is like FileZilla. If you're familiar with FileZilla, Fetch, any kind of FTP interface where you have a double pane window. You can upload and download files. It's all user driven. It's simple, but it's all user driven. Browser-based, we have a transfer agent technology, which is a plugin. It doesn't use Java applets. You just plug it. You just navigate a web page. You'll be prompted to install our plugin, and then you're off to the races, and you can upload, download files. And the owner of the system can centrally manage where the files end up and what the usernames in the process. Mobile, if you pull up your phone and go to Google Play, if you go to Google Play or iTunes on your iPhone, and you want to download the app, you can, and you can connect to your FileCatalyst server and push files. And SDK are, the command line Java, .NET, C++, and JavaScript APIs, REST, SOAP, a lot of options here for you. So this is how kind of FileCatalyst Direct look. I don't have much time, but I'm just going to go quickly through the interface here. I have it already all fired up. So this is the FileCatalyst server interface. This is where you create your users. Each user will be mapped to a certain path, local path on your system. These paths could be local paths or could be UNC paths. So if you have a NAS or a SAN, you can map these to locations that are on the NAS. And then these users, using a username and a password, can log in and review files in their folders. Additionally, we have ability to create virtual files in folders, so then you can have users share a specific folder or file through this. So as long as you have a virtual file, you can assign each virtual file who gets access to it. So you can see here user or both can only read this folder, but I can change the permissions here to allow more fine-grained permissions on what the folders can be. Of course, all of this is plugged into LDAP and Active Directory if you want to pull the users from there. FileCatalyst server as well is an SFTP server, an FTPS server, an FTP server, and a FileCatalyst server. So with one server, you kind of hit all the major services. And the nice part is that once they're using, even if you're using SFTP, which is not accelerated, you still have your system monitoring, and you can see your reports, and everything comes in through this one spot. So you see all your transfers centrally. If a FileCatalyst client you use, however, then you're going to get acceleration. So this is the system monitoring tool. This shows you all the current transfers by sessions or by graph. And so this is on the server side. If I want to go on the hot folder side, the hot folder side is the system. You need two things. You need to create a site, so which FileCatalyst server you want to connect to. specify which folder you want to sync up, and then create a schedule based on that. Create a task, whether it's an upload or a download task, how often you want it to execute. You can specify things like whether to verify that do an MD5 checksum or not, enable multi-client if you want to send multiple files at once, and you can enable incremental. So if you have a file that you already sent and you're resending a new version, we can just send the deltas. Just to give you an example, you can exclude, do dynamic growing files if you're doing kind of live event sports production in video. This is something very useful. File sets, you can exclude certain files, and then you can send out emails when everything is done. So really, this is the brains of the operation here. So if I fire this task now, I'm going to be able to see it here starting. And if I go back now to my server, now you can see the line here, the files are transferring. You can see my sessions coming through. The reason there's so many sessions that it's a big directory and we're uploading actually several files at the same time. So we're optimizing several files. It just gives you better throughput. You can adjust that and control that as well, of course. And you can see the speed here where we're transferring. I mean, this is going pretty slowly now because I just wanted, for demo purposes, I wanted to show you this. I can go into the hot folder here, for example, and increase the bandwidth of all of this. So now I'm going at 10 megabits. I'm going to change this to go to 54 megabits. And now if I go back to my thing, we're going to hopefully speed up. And here's the speed up that's coming in right now. You can see, so I can control bandwidth with very big precision. I can control what my transfers are doing, how they're working, and what's coming through, and what sessions. And I can also overwrite session priorities through here from the server side. So that's really the direct server. I only have 5 more minutes, so I want to go quickly through the 2 other products. The 2 other products is the workflow product and central. So workflow is, you have the ability, it's a web-based solution that gives you the ability to either upload files, download files, share files. You can execute automatically certain scripts or jobs from and ingest from the web. It's also good for sending email links to users. So if you want to send a distribution type of a job where you want to just send a link to a large file, you can do it with FileCatalyst workflow. And all our acceleration is done via the transfer agent plugin. So I wanted to show you this product as well, because so I'm going to come in here, log in as a user. So here I have logged into FileCatalyst workflow. I can see all my previous transfers I've done. I'm going to go to new job, and now I'm going to start typing in the email address I want to send files to. So here I see you have an autocomplete. This address book, by the way, is synchronized, can be synchronized with against your LDAP. And here are the files. And now I'm going to click on upload files. And this launches our transfer agent plugin. As you can see, it's running here. This is running in System Tray right now. And now I'm browsing in the browser. I'm browsing my local file system. I can go to pick the files I want to send and start uploading them to the recipient. I sent pretty small files here just to kind of show you this creates a tracking number, and really just the tracking number is emailed to the recipient. So if I go to my email, I fire up my email here just to show you that I received the file here. This email actually goes to the sender. So here I'm the sender and receiver, I'm the same person, but normally we'll be 2 different people. And now I can just click on the download link here. And here are my files. I can now download them either one at a time here, or I can click on download all and grab them all in one shot. The nice part is once the file is downloaded, I can just click on Reveal Download Location. My Explorer starts blinking, and here are the files. See, we group the files into a folder of the downloads directory, so it's really easy to find them as well because they're really all grouped together. And you can send files, folders, you can send as well something what we call the link. So if you have a shared folder, like using a folder for sharing, you can send a link to a file in a shared folder as well. So this is the workflow, and if we go to the next, Central has been given a very big rebuild in the last 4 to 5 months. In 3.7, we're actually coming out with a fresh version of Central. I'm going to show you quickly just a little preview here of that. This is coming out in November. So this is the new interface of Central. It allows you to monitor my nodes. Like right now, my system is fairly simple. I only have 2 nodes here. I have my server and I have my hot folder. And if I start a transfer here, go back and start this transfer again. So I have something to show you. It's uploading now. I can see the graph here that it's going. If I click on the hot folder, I go on the nodes here, sorry, and the hot folder, I can see right away I'm drilling down right into the hot folder interface. I can see that the upload is going. I can also go into the local server here, and you can see the local server interface has as well as a system monitor where you can see the same file transfer happening that I showed you before. And you can manage your users. So everything in Central is you can view and manage through the map view. You can have as many maps as you want. This is not a full demo of Central. I just want to show you that you can upload your own images, your own background image. So your map could be reflective of your network or could be reflective of a world map. Some clients started calling this feature world domination map because they put a map of the world where all their branches are, and they can see visually right away what's wrong with the system. As you can see here, there's an alarm, for example, for a hot folder. The alarm says that license, so yeah, my license is expired for hot folder. Anyways, it's just for the demo illustration, but you can put here a background of images. You can as well go into nodes and transfer files to and from the nodes. I don't have here a transfer agent node, but with a transfer agent node, I can actually transfer files right into the node from this interface. I have also full reporting. I can show you the reporting. Anyways, there will be another a full demonstration of Central in probably in the next month or so. There will be a webinar on it. I invite you to watch it. It will be, I think, a very useful tool for especially if you want to automate node-to-node transfers, monitoring, and just do occasional movement of files right within the web interface from any node to any node. You'll be able to do it. So the cloud, as I mentioned, we have this. So here's some examples. Here's a partial list of our partners where we've integrated our software. Why we have so many? Well, everybody at one point needs file transfer. So everybody has an application that, for example, accepts large video files. And then, well, how do you get those large video files into the application? FTP is slow, so we provide tools to build integration for this. If it's storage, for example, it could be for off-site disaster recovery. If it's quality control for video, then once again, you need those large files there. So every partner with these, you can build very interesting solutions for both media and entertainment or any other verticals, and it gives you the ability to really look at the whole product as working as part of a larger group of products that you can provide a solution. So in summary, we provide the file transfer acceleration with up to 10 gigabits. Our products are modular. There's only 3 products. The products are multifunctional, yet still modular. So You can, for example, in Direct, you can only buy the hot folder option and the server if this is all what you need. You don't have to buy everything in Direct. Same thing with Central. You can buy specific functionalities that you need for your workflow. At the same time, you can very easily expand this by because all our products provide so much more functionality than just the basic use case that you may have in the beginning and it might grow later. And it makes it a lot easier to expand on it because it's a matter of sometimes just a license key, or maybe sometimes it's just downloading another client application which you have not used yet. We're immune to, we're reliable, we have checkpoint restarting, we're immune to packet loss and latency, which gives you the best speed possible. And once again, all these features you see here in these products at one point were requested from a client. We wouldn't be here without our clients. We listen to what our clients want and build it into our roadmap. And some features come out sooner than later, but basically everything in here has been at one point requested. So if you have features that you need specifically, if you're a client, we'll listen and hopefully we can add it within a time frame that is acceptable to you. We just did Amsterdam Trade Show. We have a couple of shows coming up. In November, we're going to be at NAB New York in New York City. We will be also at Supercomputing 2016 in Salt Lake City. I think it's mid-November. I think it's November 15th. And we're going to be in Broadcast India coming up in October. So come by our booth if you're visiting, see our demos if you're interested in a specific product, and sign up for our monthly newsletter, our YouTube channel, download our white papers. We have lots of information available.